In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish underburst gown. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button. So to start, I've gone ahead to mark out the basic measurement I need, which is the shoulder to bust, shoulder to underbust, shoulder to waist, then 7 inches from your waistline to get your hip, and then mark your waist to knee point. So this is not actually my waist to knee point, but I'm just using this pattern paper, and then the lower part is my gown length. Now go ahead to place your tape and you're going to mark your shoulder divided by 2. Now come down by 1 inch here, mark a basic neckline of 3 inches. After marking that, connect from this point all the way to that shoulder slope. Now the next step you take is to find your chest line or armhole, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Whatever you get, make a mark, place your ruler and draw out a straight line. Now that measurement you have at the shoulder, go ahead to place it here. Now after marking, I'm going to place my ruler and draw a straight line. The next step I'll take is to go ahead to divide what I have there into 2 equal parts. I'm trying to draw out my armhole curve, although I might not be using it. Come out by ½ inch. At the chest line, mark your bust circumference divided by 4. Connect all the way up and also connect to your bust circumference divided by 4. For this pattern, I'm cutting it in form of a dartless pattern. I'll go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. Add 1 inch for your sewing allowance. Mark your underbust circumference divided by 4. After marking that, go ahead to add your sewing allowance. Here, mark your waist circumference divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. Also go ahead to mark your hip circumference divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. Now whatever you have at the hip, go ahead to just take out 1.5 inches from it and mark it as the knee point of your pattern. Now if you look at that dress at the lower part, it has like more like a flare effect, so I'll be doing that much later. So let's just go ahead to connect our pattern, starting from the bust to the underbust to the waist, from the waist to the hip. Before we are going to go ahead to connect this to the lower part of this pattern, right? Now you're going to connect from here all the way going to the lower part. Also, when you're cutting this dress, just note that you're not going to use your actual measurement. You're going to add extra inches so that it will be flowy at the lower part. So go ahead to extend this all the way to the side. So from the under bust now, I'll come in by ½ inch. From that neckline, I'll mark that my basic neckline of 3 inches. I'll connect. Now after I'm done connecting, I will mark like 3 inches from there. Although the neckline, we are going to extend it all the way to the back, and we are going to create like a twist or knot. Now connect this all the way to the under bust of your pattern, and at the under bust you notice there's little pleat or ruffle, like for it to accommodate the bust very well, and mark where you want your knot to be. After that, place your tape from the under bust to the shoulder and measure. What I have is 12 inches, right? So now we are going to add like 5 inches extension for the back, but that is after you're done creating the knots for your pattern, right? So what I'll do now is to go ahead to cut this out. After cutting this out, I'll now go ahead to cut out the underbust area of this pattern and also create the knot on it. I'll be adding an extension at the upper part also. So now you'll be using this side to cut out the back also, because there's no zipper at the back of the dress. So for the underbust area, I'll just give it a little cut or opening. You just spread it out very little to give you slight opening at that part that you now cut out. Now remember, at the upper part we have like a knot. So what I'll do is I'll add another pattern paper, pin it. We are adding an extension, so whatever you're adding should be long enough so that after creating the knot, it's going to extend all the way to the back. When cutting this, it's best to like cut excess, like at the shoulder, cut something that is very long, so that if you have an excess, all you do is just to cut it out and stitch it at the neckline of the dress. So let me just go ahead to cut this out now. So just like I said, you want to note where you want the knot to be, right? So let's say we are done sewing our dress, we cut it out, and we've gone ahead to turn this upper part now. So what you now do is to go ahead to create your knot. So I'm going to be careful while creating this because I'm using a pattern paper. If not, it's just going to tear. After going ahead to not this is what I have, and I'm just going to go ahead to like place it. Now let's just say this is your actual dress. After you're done turning it with your lining, or you can just go ahead to cut out and weave, you go ahead to make the knots where you want it to be. After that, mark your shoulder to underburst just like we got. Now you now add an extra extension of 4 to 5 inches at the back of your pattern. This part now will be going to the back of the neckline, right? That extension you will now go to the back of the neckline, and you now go ahead to stitch it there.